Hello, my name is Rachel and I like crafting, and today is my third video in my second installment of Beebeecraft videos. Beebeecraft is an online crafting website. They just have so many different options and really good prices, comparable with prices that I find stuff on Amazon all the time. And they also offer free shipping if you spend $25. But they also have this YouTuber program where if you have 100 or more subscribers, you can apply to their YouTuber program, and if they approve you, they'll send you $40 worth of craft supplies, and in exchange, they request or require that you make them 3 videos. The first video is the unboxing haul video where you explain all the Beebeecraft stuff, and then the following 2 videos are actually crafting videos. And this is, like I said, the third video. This is the second time I've done this with Beebeecrafts, and this is the third video in my second round of craft supplies from them. And today what our craft is I got all of these spikes and studs and other things for making collars, basically. And we are going to transform this old red belt. It's pretty thin, but I'm hoping that'll still work. We're going to transform this into a spiked collar, and we're also going to attempt to decorate the collar on this dress. I don't know if you remember this velvet dress from one of my Amazon hauls, but it has this little collar on it. Now, I had originally wanted to put spikes on this collar, but I decided against that. I think the spikes will be too heavy and it'll fall down. So I'm hoping skull studs will work better. So those are going to be our 2 crafts, and I have all of my tools here. Hopefully this is everything I need. I have a leather punch, a measuring tape. I have this hammer that also has screwdrivers here in the end, because for some of these studs I think we need these little screwdrivers. And I think for the skull studs, none of this has instruction, so I'm just kind of winging it, but I think the skull studs require hammering. So we'll find out, and let's turn us around into Craftovision and get this started. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut our belt down to size, and my neck is 13.5 to 14 inches, so I'm actually going to cut the belt down to maybe 16 inches. And I have a little Sharpie here so we can make some marks on the underside. Okay, so I marked the belt about where I want to cut it. I have no idea if these scissors are going to do. This is a faux leather vinyl belt, but it is a little bit thick. Okay, so surprisingly, these little scissors actually did cut through that, so that's awesome. So here is our belt, and now on the underneath I want to measure where I'm going to put some holes. So I said I have a 13.5 inch neck, and I did cut this to be about roughly 16 inches. So I'm going to put some holes. Let's see here, we'll do 13, 13.5, 14, and 14.5, because somewhere in there I'm sure will be a hole that'll work for me. Okay. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to actually, make sure these holes are centered. I don't want to put them where I put those dots. So let's see here. This belt is about a 1/2 inch thick. So right there in the center. Redot. Okay. I feel like I did a terrible job of that, but we'll hope for the best here. The way I do everything, hope for the best. And I'm actually going to use not quite the smallest hole, the next smallest hole for these. I'm just gonna go in with my punch. Just trying to work it through. This belt, like I said, is pretty thick. Sadly, my leather punch does not want to punch through this vinyl. Okay, so I'm not having any luck with my leather punch. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have this thing, which is also a hole punch, but it's like a manual one that you use that with a hammer. So we'll see if I can make this one work. Okay, so that took a little bit of finagling, but it messed up around here on the belt too, but that's what I'm working with, so I'll just keep going. So we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so that worked. So basically, I guess I kind of need to combine the two to get this to work right. There we go. Okay, so I did get my 4 holes in there. I just quickly tried that on to make sure that it does fit. And next I'm going to find the center. And again, I want to find the center of the center. And this time we're going to move to the smallest hole, and we'll see what we can do with this. See if we can get this one through. And that one worked really well, so yay. So I got a hole there, and what we're going to put in the center one is one of these. So we need the screw and the top. And you could use a screwdriver to tighten it a little bit more if you wanted to. I need to get it straight. So, just a touch crooked. See if I can get that twisted around just a little bit more. Okay, I think that's reasonably straight. And now, I haven't thought about my design yet. So I have these I actually got from my first round of Beebeecrafts and didn't use them the first time around. So we're going to take out 2 of the red ones. Actually, let's use all 4 red ones. And the shorter silver ones. Okay, so maybe I'm going to do long, short, long. I was spacing them, I think, 1 inch apart. I don't know if I should do long, short, long, or short, long, short. So I think I'm going to do the short, long, short. That way I can actually add an extra short one on the end, and that way we'll have 2 long and 3 short, since I only have 4 of these red ones. Hopefully that'll work out. I probably should have made my holes before I put the center one in there. But that's okay. We'll make do. So if I clean it in between each one, it cuts through better. So I've got to clean this out. So I'll be right back. Let's see if that worked. Yep. Okay, so that side's done. Be right back. Okay, so I finally got all my holes. I discovered that I think my belt's just a little bit too thick, so each time I had to go in with either the safety pin or this little metal pick I had and just clean out this thing before it would punch the new hole. So, but all our holes are finally there. The only thing left is to screw all this stuff in. And there we go. That is our spiked collar. And of course I can take that screwdriver and tighten the spikes here in a little bit, but just for the sake of time, I'll do that on my own afterwards. But you can see these small ones take a little Phillips head, and then the large ones take a small straight head. And then something else that we could do is we could always dangle a charm from this. So I thought I would take this shrink film bat from last week. And we'll dangle this little pentagram below. There we go. So that'll be our finished collar. And before we try that on, we're gonna do our second project. So our second project is going to be decorating the collar of this dress. So here is the piece of fabric we'll be working with. And hopefully I can mark that up with this marker as well. Okay, so let's start with finding the center. Okay, so it's very faint, but I can still see it. And then we're going to measure 1 inch from the center on each side. And I don't think the leather punch is going to work on the fabric, but I think these might just push through the fabric. So I'm actually going to try that on the very center one. And like I said, I'm not 100% sure how these work, but I think you just hammer them in. So we're going to try that and see what happens. And I want to say, whoever decided to coat a hammer in ceramic, sure, you made a pretty hammer, but it functions terribly. But okay guys, here's hoping for the best. And I think that worked. And then on each side of him, we're going to do one of these little crosses. So just push that through the fabric. And that really does appear to be working, guys. That's awesome. Okay. So we'll just do one more little cross here. You can see I'm not being as exact with this one. I'm just sort of, once again, just winging it, eyeballing it. I mean, I measured the inch away, but I'm not really getting the exact center. But that's fine. Oh no, he didn't work. Okay, let me try one more time. A different one. Maybe that one's just faulty. Okay, that one seems to have worked properly. Okay, maybe it just needed a little more hammering. Okay, so that one just isn't working. Let me try a second spiky thing. It half worked because you can see the little thingy got caught in there. Let's try a fresh one. And that kind of worked except for the hole in the fabric. It was a little bit too wide there. I think I want to do 2 more skulls. Measure 1 inch over from each. Alright, so that's what we've done here. So the hammering them on is the way that you put them on. It's just occasionally you have one that just doesn't work. That's that. Okay, so let me go try these 2 new crafts on and we'll see how they turned out. Here is the dress with the collar we decorated. I think it came out pretty cute. The only thing is one of these, I can't remember which cross, but one of these crosses, the hammering caused the hole to get too big, so the cross will easily like fall out. But I think just maybe a little bit of fabric glue, I can easily fix that and shrink that hole back down, or maybe even a couple of stitches on the underneath. And I probably should have also been just maybe a touch more exact in my measurements. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's not exactly centered. Something's throwing me off there. But I think the concept is great, and those particular studs did take a little bit of getting used to. The one was faulty and broke off, but basically, yeah, you just hammer it into them, and then the tip of the spike, I think, expands to lock it into your stud. So that is one of the projects. Now let me go get the other one. And here is the spiked collar, and I really like the way the spiked collar came out. I think that is super cute, and you have so many options of what you could hang from it. Of course, you can change it by using a different colored belt, a different thickness of belt, and I also have a couple of black spikes and a ton of silver spikes, so there are just so many different options. Could probably even do like those little skull studs, but I would use a thinner belt than this one. I think this belt is just a little bit too thick for those skull and cross like poundy rivet spike things. But I think with like a thinner belt, those would work as well. So all sorts of possibilities and options. So I'm really liking this. But let me know down in the comments below what you think of my 2 projects that I did today, using both those little hammer-on rivets and these screw-in spikes. And if you have any questions or want to tell me anything, just tell me down in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. As usual, if you enjoyed my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy the video, you can give it a thumbs down, but please leave me some constructive criticism in the comments below so that I can improve. And please subscribe to the channel. And I hope everyone is just staying happy, healthy, and safe in this incredibly crazy world we're living in. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye!